It is just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. Good evening and welcome to the news bulletin at 8, brought to you by Eswatini TV. My name is Sanabo Ngwan alongside Zamanzi Manzi. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We're coming to you live from our Hospital Hill studios in Babane, and these are your top stories tonight. Sadaq Chairperson and also Malawian President Dr. Lazarus Chikwera has declared war to jihadist terrorists who are killing civilians in the northern part of Mozambique. Former legislator Tutugo Trial is expected to take off in the first session of court draw of 2022. The availability of the new Pfizer vaccine in March does not mean that other vaccines are weak against the new Omicron variant. And now the news in detail. Sadaq Chairperson and also Malawian President Dr. Lazarus Chikwera has declared war to jihadist terrorists who are killing civilians in the northern part of Mozambique. President Chikwera was addressing Sadaq heads of state and governments during the official opening of the extraordinary Sadaq Summit held in Lilongwe in Malawi. Now, the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini represented His Majesty King Eswatini III at the summit.
In June last year, Sadaq heads of state and government met in Mozambique, where they adopted a resolution to send a peacekeeping mission in the Cabo Delgado region in the northern part of Mozambique. The region has been under terrorist attacks for the past 4 years. Sadaq heads of state have convened an extraordinary Sadaq Summit here in the Bingu wa Mtarika International Convention Center in Lilongwe, Malawi, to look at progress that has been made by the peacekeeping mission in the Cabo Delgado region. The meeting was officially opened by the President of Malawi, Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, who is also the chairperson of Sadaq. In his address, Lazarus Chakwera commended Sadaq heads of state for responding quickly to the call to come in person for this extraordinary summit, which was originally planned to be a virtual summit. He also delivered a report about the progress that has been made by the peacekeeping mission in the Cabo Delgado region.
What remains now is for us to stay the course and stick together. We can't relate. We can't regress. We cannot retreat. Our approach to this mission must continue to be multidimensional and comprehensive. We must not only focus on neutralizing the threat, but also have a post-conflict plan to reveal.
The chairperson then uploaded Sadaq member states who have contributed by sending troops to the Cabo Delgado region, and those who have assisted the mission with equipment and financial assistance. He called upon Sadaq and other African states, including the international community, to support Sadaq in her quest to fight terrorism. The chairperson reported that they come to this meeting under a dark cloud, since Sadaq has lost some troops while they were fighting against terrorists in the Cabo Delgado region. He called upon the heads of state to rise and observe a moment of silence.
So long as our brothers and sisters in northern Mozambique are fleeing their homes to escape the armed threats to their lives, none of us here can be at peace. So long as our Mozambican brothers and sisters are being forced to abandon the fields they had hoped to be cultivating at this time, none of us here can be at peace. So long as they are being forced to choose between having food and clothing behind, or leaving food and clothing behind in Cabo Delgado, to face the prospect of starvation and humiliation, and staying there to face the cruelty and violence of the terrorists, none of us here can be at peace. It is therefore no exaggeration to say that our mission in Mozambique is a mission that cannot and must not fail.
The president uploaded the Republic of Mozambique for coming up with the Cabo Delgado reconstruction plan, a plan that seeks to assist the over 800,000 people who have been displaced. He says the plan will see the reconstruction of schools, clinics, and hospitals, and also homes for those affected. He called upon Sadaq and Africa to assist Mozambique to see the fruits of the reconstruction plan of the Cabo Delgado region. The president called the meeting to a closed session. The Prime Minister, Cleopas Sipho Dlamini, represented His Majesty King Eswatini III at the summit, which was also attended by President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, as the chairperson of Troika. In TV News, I'm Lincoln Kule, Malawi.
Following an announcement by COVID-19 vaccines producer Pfizer that an Omicron vaccine will be ready in March, World Health Organization Health Promotion Officer Dr. Kevin Makatsange says this does not mean that the other vaccines are weak against the new variant. Dr. Makatsange said this during an interview with the Eswatini TV News.
Pfizer Chief Executive Officer Albert Boyle said an Omicron vaccine will be ready in March and the company is already manufacturing some doses. This announcement has caused some worries among other people who think the other vaccines are no longer effective against the new variant. World Health Organization Promotion Officer Dr. Kevin Makatsange elaborates.
Because there will be different variants that will be coming and then you end up producing all different sorts of these vaccines. So with COVID, there's a lot that is not known. There's a lot that we are actually knowing now, and the evidence that is coming is what is used to update or to upgrade our response. So with this new development, it doesn't mean that the vaccines that we have already that are available are now useless and people should actually stop using them and then wait for the other upgrades that will be coming. They are still useful because they still help to protect against severe disease and death. And it's not only Omicron that is spreading. Even the other variants, they are still actually circulating and spreading. And so when you get COVID, you will not know whether it's due to Omicron or it's due to Delta or it's due to... So it's better to use the vaccines that are there with the opportunity that you have, get vaccinated to protect you at that time. If there is need for any upgraded vaccines to be actually administered in the future, that will be communicated as the vaccines are actually available. So these developments, we should not really concentrate much on these developments, but we continue. If we get the opportunity to get vaccinated, let's use the vaccines that are available and get vaccinated because they are still actually useful. Any further recommendation and guidance will be actually issued as we progress. So we encourage people to actually continue to source actually accurate information from reliable sources that will actually help them to make informed decisions.
There are 3 types of vaccines in the country. These are Pfizer, AstraZeneca, as well as Johnson & Johnson. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, Babane.
The Luke Commission, mandated by government, continues to supply hospitals around the country with needed oxygen to keep them running without disturbances in offering health services during the outbreak of the Omicron variant. Now, the executive member, Roches Mamba, says despite the declining numbers of people admitted for COVID-19, most hospitals still need oxygen. He was speaking at Tutugo during the presentation of chairs to 7 constituencies that have over 50% of people vaccinated for COVID-19.
The executive member of the Luke Commission, Rogers Mamba, says 17 people are currently admitted at the commission, a huge decline compared to the 175, which was the highest number admitted during the 3rd wave. He says to ensure adequate treatment of Eswatini during the outbreak of the Omicron variant, the commission, as mandated by government, continues to supply oxygen to different health facilities around the country.
Dibhedlela letikhona tonke kangwane leso lesiqhamukile sesishodelwa i-oxygen Luke Commission uyakhona ukuthi abasonzetele leyo oxygen kuze ukuthi kuphephe yona imphefumulo leyo leseyidzinga yona i-oxygen dzadzewethu lelive lonke nje lapho kufika khona ukuthi nyalo sekune shortage ye-oxygen iyaphuma imoto yakithi phuthumise leyo oxygen.
Mamba says they continue running the competition to encourage Eswatini to vaccinate against COVID-19 to decrease chances of admissions. He says they have given chairs to 7 constituencies that have vaccinated over 50% of its people.
Besigqugqutela sive ikakhulukati sihlomelisa tinkhundla leto letehambile nekujovisa emaswati emkhuhlaneni ukuthi bavikele umkhuhlane we-COVID-19 lese bafike ku-50% emashumi lasihlanu.
Lomahasha Member of Parliament Ndumiso Masimula has thanked the Commission, saying its services to Emaswati is quite impressive. He says the Commission should be supported at all costs.
Singasabongi titulo kuphela kodwa umsebenzi walo commission wonke Eswatini uyadumiseka kakhulu maningi emaswati lo commission lawa nakekelako naleti titulo titawuhamba inzima lenze ekusiteni sive nasinemihlangano etinkundleni lokho siyakubonga kakhulu sitawuchubeka siwakhuthathe emaswati ukuthi abambisane lo commission ngekuthi tonke tinhlelo lo commission latiletha kwesiveni emaswati atibambe ngetandla totimbili.
Each of the 7 constituencies received 25 chairs. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Langamandla with Mbongwa Dube, Strogotro.
Chief Roads Engineer Vincent Dlamini says government is looking at rehabilitating gravel roads that have been destroyed by the recent rains. The Chief Roads Engineer said this after residents of Gundwini complained about the bad state of roads, asking for assistance from government.
Residents of Gundwini are complaining about the bad state of the gravel roads which connects different communities to vital services. The roads were damaged by the ongoing rains. The residents who have started fixing the roads say as schools have opened, this will pose a major challenge for their children.
Ngacela nje mfanami fanele asheshe uhulumende asibonelele lemigwaqo ngoba kuhambeki nyalo simile nje takhamuti sengito letilungisa lo mgwaqo nyalo
ovota bese singasakhona nje kwakona lokutofika la station so saze sesithi sitakhamuti sesihlaba inyanzelo ukuthi ngoba thina kakhulu thina bangala sitokhona ukuthi sikhona kuyofika nasemisebenzini nasemadolobheni sase siyacela ke nasehlobeni tethu letinemaloli ukuthi manje tisilekelele sitawumane sizame labo bo petrol bo diesel bekuthi siwethe sitakhamuti awubasisita ke abantu abebantu la lenye nje iloli seyicelile nayo isendleleni yedwa so ukuthi sitomane sikhona lokuyofika emakhaya ngoba vele kufika emakhaya into leseyingekho.
Chief Roads Engineer Vincent Dlamini says government is looking at servicing gravel roads, especially those connecting people to essential services. He says the challenge they have at the moment is the continued rains which make their work very difficult. Dlamini continues to say the Ministry of Public Works and Transport is currently clearing bridges which had debris and waste due to the heavy rains blocking their drainage systems.
Inkinga lesibhekane nayo unalitulu lelitulu lina cishe lina onke malanga seline kakhulu kunale bekubhekekile ngakho ke vele imigwaqo siyavuma lokuthi yonakela but ngenhlanhla lembi kulukhulu lokuhamba uyosebenza libe lichubeka lina kanjena lomhlabathi awusebenteki so lokutakwendeka ke ukuthi nathi sitawubuka uma ngabe selihambile lelitulu sitokhona lokuthi sihambe siyosita lesive lesikwendile letinzawo tangala kogundwini kwanyalo besatama loku cleaner namabhloko lokhanzakale ukuthi kudeti godo nemihlabathi yavala letikhala tekuphefumula okhanza semandike sakagcina limata lawo mabhloko kusizamile ke lokho ukuthi sisusele lo tigodo leto kuze ukuthi lamandla tokhona kuphuma kuletikhala letifanele.
Dlamini says government is doing everything to ensure all the roads in the country are fixed. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Langamandla with Mbongwa Dube, Mbabane.
Former legislator Tutugo Michael Tsembalenganyeti Dlamini's murder trial is expected to take off in the first session of Court Roll of 2022. This matter has been set to be before Judge Mbuto Mamba. This is contained in the High Court First Session Roll of 2022.
Last year, Tutugo Michael Tsembalenganyeti Dlamini was granted bail set at 50,000 Malangeni by the High Court. When granting bail, Principal Judge Qinsile Mabuza made it clear that bail does not mean an accused has been acquitted. True to this, Tutugo's trial
in a matter where he stands accused of 2 counts of murder, will soon begin in court. The 2 people he is accused of shooting are Andreas Tsabetse and Sikulu Shongwe, who he allegedly murdered at Mhlabubovu in 2020. Tutugo also faces a count of attempted murder, and he was also found with a firearm without a license. This matter will be heard by Judge Mbutfo Mamba. Another matter to be heard by Judge Mamba is that of Somiso Dlamini, who is accused of murdering his wife and father-in-law. These cases are contained in the High Court First Session Roll of 2020. The roll also shows that the matter between Apostle Justice Dlamini and Prophet Elijah Mkemetelo Muzi Mkhatshwa will also be in the first session. In this matter, Apostle Justice has accused Prophet Elijah of crime injury. The Collins Dictionary defines crime injury as an action that injures the dignity of another person. This matter will be before Judge Dikheme Dlamini. Other matters set to be heard by Judge Dikheme are that of Pastor Themba Masimula, who stands accused of the murder of his wife Funegile Mdluli in 2016. Maxwell Ngambule, the man accused of having a hand in the murder of Jomo Khumalo, will also continue to appear before Judge Dikheme. Another matter set for this judge is that of Simangaliso Charles Dunn, who is accused of murdering a church security guard at Funtown in Babane. The dates when these matters and many others will be heard are still to be set. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela, High Court.
5 suspects who are accused of stealing diesel worth over 650,000 want out of jail. Now, the accused persons are employees of Southern Star Logistics, and they are suspected to have stolen the diesel from the Matapa engine depot. The matter was before Judge Maxine Langwenya.
The 5 suspects are Harry Ndodamalinga, age 37, Lucky Moses Funza, 41 years, Sicelo Sibonangaye Sifunza, 39 years, Themba Mandla Skonze, 54 years, and Mandla Simelane, 46 years. The accused persons are alleged to have stolen diesel worth over 680,000 emalangeni from Matapa Engine Depot from February 2020 to September 2021. Some have filed urgent bail applications through different lawyers. Sicelo and Sikonze filed their bail application through their lawyer Sandile Senzo Shabangu of N.E. Keninza Attorneys. In this application, Sicelo told the court that police called him and Sikonze twice for questioning, but they informed them that they did not know anything about the theft. Sicelo also told the court that they still maintain that they had nothing to do with the crime and they will plead not guilty during trial. Sicelo told the court that he was a sickle person who needed traditional medicine for his illness. He submitted that traditional medicine is not allowed in jail. Sicelo also submitted that he feared that he might lose his job due to continued incarceration. He further submitted that his job was his only income, which helped him take care of his 3 wives and 9 children. Sikonze, on the other hand, told the court that he had 2 wives and 7 children and continued incarceration would risk his employment. Meanwhile, Sifunza, through his lawyer, Sipho Kumetse, told the court that he would also plead not guilty. He was granted 15,000 bail and ordered to pay 3,000 emalangeni and provide surety worth 12,000 emalangeni. These matters were before Judge Maxine Langwenya. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosi Mavimbela, High Court.
The Eswatini Tourism Authority says there has been an average increase in domestic tourism last festive season compared to the previous year. Head of Marketing, Siboniso Madlopa, says domestic tourism plays a vital role in boosting the economy. We're speaking when welcoming Norman traveler from India, Ansh Mishra, who has visited the authority.
The head of marketing at Eswatini Tourism Authority, Siboniso Madlopa, says there has been an average increase in domestic tourism during the festive season.
We recorded about 12,329 arrivals within 3 days that came into the kingdom, and this figure shows a growth in a total of about 13.4% compared to 2020. So for us, it is a positive to even have that over 10% growth in terms of arrival into the kingdom, and it indeed shows that the kingdom, if there are no restrictions, is at an attractive destination for a lot of people, especially in the region, and not counting the number of bookings that were cancelled and that we are still going to gather some data with. And of course, Ngwenya was the highest number of, had the highest number of arrivals, arriving especially on the 23rd of December. We had a lot of visitors coming through Ngwenya. And the borders with the least activities were mainly Hlumeni and Lomahasha, which averaged about less than 50 people per day coming through. But which means we're having a lot of people from South Africa than we were having from Mozambique this time around. And it's mainly because, again, of the very fewer activities that were owing to the international community.
The authority further welcomed Ansh Mishra, who is a traveler from India, whose mission is to visit all countries in the African continent hitchhiking.
Means I am on a mission to make a kind of record to travel entire Africa continent using all 54 countries only via land border. Means no flight at all.
The authority says before the outbreak of COVID-19 in the year 2020, tourism contributed 3% to the country's economy, but now it is estimated that it makes a 1.2% contribution. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla with Mbongwa Dube Mbabane.
An organization named COSPE, supported financially by the European Union, has equipped 246 Maswati, especially women and the youth, to ensure participation in community development and empower them with socio-economic skills since the year 2020. The project coordinator and the school says the other issues that were covered include the country's legislation and international conventions.
In the year 2020, an organization named COSPE, financially supported by the European Union, started the Women and Youth Drivers of Change pilot program. The project coordinator, Ayanda Sigudla, says they have covered different areas of concern to Emaswati and helped them with different projects.
There are two main outputs that we want to have seen in the 2 years, which is starting from the year 2020 to 2021, which is mainly to see the socio-economic change in the communities within women and young people. And we also wanted to see the leadership skills and the capacity within the community groups within those organizations. So there were different activities that we embarked on as a project, which were very successful in the past 2 years. And we are happy to say that as we stand here today, we have been able to have much success at community level and regional level. Hence, we are going forward and saying we will be hosting a national event where we want this project to also have a national impact, where we'll be having a national dialogue and having all the different ministries that were part of the issues that were raised within the community trainings that were being done in all these 10 communities. In this national dialogue that we'll be having on the 19th of January at Sibayeni Lodge, we'll be having different ministries to explain or further explain the opportunities that are available in each of the ministries and the challenges that have been there and how best can we address them at community level, at regional level, and at national level. We are hoping these collaborations with all these entities, when they come together and dialogue and talk about the issues that impact the people on the ground, will be able to see this, truly say this project was a success.
The project coordinator says they will soon meet with different stakeholders, including government, to address some of the concerns raised by the different participants of the pilot program. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla with Mbongwa Dube, Zulwini.
Right now, let's see how our markets performed today in our financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. The Eswatini Football Association Technical Director Boy Mkonde says Keys will need to have intense training sessions if they are to recover the lost time due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mkonde was speaking in an interview with the Eswatini TV sports journalist at Lobamba.
Scientists say that children must train the number of hours that are equal to their age per week. This has been hard to achieve for Eswatini football as development level was suspended for the past 2 years. The Eswatini Football Association's technical director, Boy Mkonde, says they have lost so much time. Because of that, they will now have to host intense training sessions across the country.
Training centers, bokochi bazame kuba train ngawuthi bendela labathi intensive training baba overload ngalona amagama bafake kakhulu ukuthi wena phela bona 16 khona lokuluzile ngicanzi ngiloko kungasidi kuyena nje beyifishana kungaba kuba na more training centers bafundiseke labantwana.
Mkonde says he hopes they won't be disturbed any further because that won't be good for Eswatini football. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo Msibi, Mbabane.
The Volleyball Association President Mshubeka Dlamini says this year they want to try and form a team from the Shiselweni region, as it is now the only region that doesn't have a team in their league. Dlamini was speaking in an interview with Eswatini TV sports journalists.
The Volleyball Association is worried about the fact that they currently do not have any team from the Shiselweni region. The president of the association, Mshubeka Dlamini, says it is for that reason that they have decided that part of their main objectives for the year is to make sure they have a team competing in their leagues.
Nathi kusivisa buhlungu ukuthi ezisi volleyball we don't even have a single team eShiselweni ledlalako ivolleyball, so kuselihlelweni lethu lokuthi sidawenda ivolleyball revival eShiselweni region sihambe sikhone lokuthi sithengise ivolleyball eShiselweni sikhone lokuthi sibe nema team laba khona eShiselweni ngoba ezinkhuluma nje cishe onke lalamanye etifunza sinayo ama team aka volleyball kodwa ngenhlanhla eShiselweni side, so kuselihlelweni lethu lokuthi sidawuzama ukuthi siye eShiselweni sekungaba kuqela nabo bambaseshiselweni laba kungibona ngoba bakhona lebe bayidlala ivolleyball bakhona nala uva ukuthi bayidlala bakhona lokuthi bachumane nathi sikhona ukuthi sibone ukuthi sibasupporta kanjani ukuthi sibe nawo ema-team eShiselweni.
Dlamini also added that they are going to host 2 preparatory games ahead of the start of the new season as they want the players to return to full fitness. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo Msibi, Babane.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of our top stories tonight. Sadaq Chairperson and also Malawian President Dr. Lazarus Chikwera has declared war to jihadist terrorists who are killing civilians in the northern part of Mozambique. Former legislator Tutugo Trial's murder trial is expected to take off in the first session of court roll of 2022. The availability of the new Pfizer vaccine in March does not mean that other vaccines are weak against the new Omicron variant. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, we have come to the end of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We shall cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the team here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.